with a flawless victory in Rouen, earning a spot in the forthcoming candidates tournament. GM Alireza Firouzja hasn't missed a beat and continues to triumph in Wijk aan Zee. The Grandmaster, of French-Iranian descent, outplayed GM Parham Maksudlu on Sunday, making him the sole player to maintain an impeccable record in the 2024 Tata Steel Chess Tournament's Masters. Over in the Challengers, the top spot is currently shared by 5 players, following victories by GM Anton Korobov and IM Stefan Bukima. Contrary to what I proposed on Saturday, that the thrill surrounding the Wijk aan Zee tournament remained undiminished even without world number 1 GM Magnus Carlsen, I find myself needing to revise my statement. The first Sunday did not witness the massive influx of spectators that we saw in the playing hall a year ago. This surge was partly due to the chess craze at that time, but Carlsen's absence probably has an impact now as well. The ambience during the second round could be best described as relatively serene. The subdued atmosphere was certainly not due to an anti-pollution demonstration that happened on Sunday in the village center. It went largely unnoticed, with only a few protesters present. When I chose to observe, they were taking shelter from the rain under the bus stop roof next to the church. In the meantime, the event organizers relayed a message from the world's top-ranked player on Platform X, which was also presented during the inaugural ceremony.
Firouzja stuck with the top recommendations of the chess engine, employing aggressive moves that compelled Maksudlu to sacrifice his queen in exchange for a rook and a minor piece. However, as demonstrated by GM Rafael Leitao, such a trade-off typically does not prove sufficient, and this game was no exception. Firouzja secured his spot in the candidates tournament through a combination of his rating and some controversial matches and tournament games that resembled a race for the lost rating, despite generating considerable online discussion. This episode did not hinder Firouzja's impressive form, as he made a strong start in Wijk aan Zee. Regardless of personal opinions on his qualification method, it is undeniable that Firouzja is a player beloved by the chess community, known for his tenacious fighting spirit and unwavering pursuit of victory. It was a very difficult tournament, maybe one of the most difficult tournaments I ever played because you cannot make one draw. So I was very happy to finally make it, and yeah, I look forward to the candidates. The people, they were very friendly there. I could say nobody distracted me. Everybody was looking forward to seeing me. I was lucky that it was very well organized. It could have gone any way, but I'm happy it went smoothly. During the post-game interview, Firouzja also shared his thoughts on his flawless performance of 7/7 in the Rouen tournament in December, which secured his qualification for the candidates. It was an incredibly challenging tournament, Possibly one of the toughest I've ever played, because there was no room for draws. So, I was extremely delighted to finally achieve it, and I'm eagerly anticipating the candidates. The people there were exceptionally friendly. I can honestly say that no one distracted me, and everyone was excited to see me play. I consider myself fortunate that the event was well organized. It could have gone in any direction, but I'm thrilled that everything went smoothly. GM Gakesh Domaraju is among the 3 players closely trailing the tournament leader by half a point following an impressive victory against GM Wei Yi. This game marked the first decisive result of the day and the 5th win for the black pieces in the tournament. Gakesh shared his thoughts, saying, "I was quite surprised when he opted for the BG5 Italian opening. It's a sharp opening, but I was pleased to see that. I don't think he was familiar with this 10, BG4 line. His move 13, B5 was actually quite interesting, although I don't consider it the most critical. I couldn't find a direct attack, but I came up with the idea of playing 17, NG7 and 18, F6 to restrict his bishop on H2. However, instead of 21, C4, he could have played BD3, which would have led to an unclear position with potential plans involving G4 and NF5. Nevertheless, my position remained solid, and I had long-term prospects. Overall, it was a very unclear position. GM Jordan Van Forest's 2 consecutive white games, which he obtained by selecting lot number 1 on Friday, was spoiled as he suffered losses in both games due to a single move blunder. Placing his 2 unprotected bishops on the 6th rank proved to be a tactical failure, as demonstrated by GM Max Warmadam. Unexpectedly, his king was vulnerable to a mating attack, which was typically an idea when the queens were still on the board. However, even after the queens were exchanged, it became apparent that his king was still in danger, commented Warmadam. The game between 2 close friends, GMs Anish Giri and Vidit Gujarati, lacked excitement. Giri humorously remarked, "Sometimes I choose to win, and sometimes I choose to draw," reflecting on their game. Out of the 4 draws, it's worth mentioning GM Ju Wenjun's impressive defensive display against GM Ian Nepomniachtchi. While the women's world champion made a mistake in the late stages of the endgame in the first round, this time she showcased unwavering solidity. The 2024 Tata Steel Chess Masters is the first super tournament of the year. The event starts January 13th at 8 a.m. 1400 Central Europe Time, 6:30 p.m. IST, with some of the strongest players in the world gathering at Wijk aan Zee, Netherlands, to play a series of classical games. Players compete in a single round robin of 13 rounds. Wins are worth 1 point, and draws are worth 1/2 a point. The player with the most points at the end of the tournament wins. The time control is 100 minutes for 40 moves, followed by 50 minutes for 20 moves. There is also a 30-second increment after each move.